Grandma Elda, I will say the Our Father prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. I love you, Grandma Elda.
Hi, this is Michael Mader, and this is my thank you message for Elda. I just want to thank you for everything you've done for me and my siblings as we've grown up, and I especially want to thank you for helping to fund my trip to Japan in 2016, because it was the best experience of my life, and I probably would never have made it there without you. So yeah, I just really want to say thank you for that and just for everything that you've done. That's all.
Hey, Grandma Elda. I'm here with James, and I wanted to just leave you this message with my brother here, and tell you that we love you. Anything to say, James?
We love you, Grandma. We really do.
Yeah, that's for sure. I was sitting and thinking of you actually just the other day, because I think it was 2 or 3 days ago now. It was Steve Irwin's birthday, or rather, it would have been. We just, I was thinking of the animal shows that you watch too. We, can't wait to watch more with you. We love you. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Hi, Grandma. This is John Paul. I was just thinking, some of my earliest memories are with you. I remember when I was 5 or 6, I couldn't wait to go to your house because you had my favorite goldfish crackers. You also had crazy book-out spiders that I loved to read with you. I really enjoyed growing up. You've always been a very special part of you were a very special part of my childhood, and you still are today. Thank you for these memories.
My Grandma Elda is an amazing woman who I've looked up to my entire life. In many respects, she is my hero. My family, especially my mother, would always say how much each of us kids were like certain members of the family. For me, I was always like my Grandma Elda. The way I would do certain things or say certain things would remind my parents of her. This always made me so proud. Grandma, I just want you to know that I love you so much. I've cried so much ever since you received your bad news. You're a special part of my world, and a selfish part of me doesn't want to see you go. I don't think I'm ready for that. I'll always remember you. The birthday and Christmas gifts you gave us, they helped me and my family more than you'll ever know. Often when I smile, I think of you. You paid for my veneers to help fix the gap between my 2 front teeth, which was something I was very self-conscious of whenever I smiled. To this day, I still brag about having gone to London and Paris with my grandmother. We saw so many things together. We drank champagne and had duck on the Eiffel Tower. We saw the Phantom of the Opera in London at Her Majesty's Theatre. I still even have the program to it. Those were some of my most cherished memories. You showed me the world. I hope I can continue your legacy as your granddaughter and as a nurse. I am who I am today because of you. I hope you're proud of me. I know I'm proud of you. I love you, Grandma.
Elda, I would like to say that you have been a dear mother-in-law and friend to me. You have been a part of my life for over 25 years, and I cherish having you as a mother-in-law. Before we met, I used to see you in our neighborhood walking for exercise, and I would say to myself, there's Mike Mader's mom. Several years later, Mike proposed to me and brought me to your condo on Chrysler. It was a delightful time getting acquainted with you. Your place was fascinating. The doll collection, teacups, shelves filled with books that would always be a source of conversation. You invited me for cottage meetings, and even though I remain Catholic, it did not cause you to treat me any less fondly. It was unusual that as you lived on Chrysler, I worked on Chrysler. Your phone number was 254-5335, and Staff Alive was 252-5335. Mike had a mother and a fiance that had things in common. As you shopped at the health food store in the late 1980s, you were carrying a reusable mesh bag before that was even popular. I instantly became impressed. I decided to invite you to my second job at Sugar Creek Pool to do water aerobics. That was a fun summer. We had a great group of women, and it was a good time. We both moved on to doing water aerobics at Valley. I taught the class, and you participated when you did not have to work. A year after the wedding, Mike and I welcomed our first baby, Marie. You now had 2 granddaughters, and I was trying to figure out how to lose the baby weight. You invited me to Weight Watchers, and from there on, we were on another adventure. As the years have passed and the family grew, time was passing us by. You had Doris Ann to travel with and visits to see Andrea in California from time to time. It just so happened that you started coming over on Sundays to visit for an hour or 2, and that was time that we all looked forward to. It was fun to watch programs with you about art, music, or other remarkable topics. I still want to watch the program with the Jesus Christ Lizard together. Going to the Nelson will always remind me of you. You are my Naomi, and I am your Ruth. Love you forever, Lee Ann.
Hi, Mom. This is your son, Michael. My message to you is a 2-part one, very simple. First, I just want to say that I love you. Now, I know you already know that, but I want to say it anyways, and I know you love me too. Secondly, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being my mom. Thank you for giving me life and raising me right. You always looked out for me. You taught me how to be a good person and also how to be a good parent. Hopefully, a good parent just like you. Love you, Mom.
Hi, Elda. This is Diane. I wanted to remind you of one of my favorite memories, and I wanted to see if you remembered the red lipstick umbrella you gave me. You had went on a big trip. I think it was to Europe, but you traveled part of the way on a tour bus and took this big trip. And when you came back, you came into me for a massage on 23rd and Chrysler when I was working in that area. And when you came in, you had me the coolest umbrella. It was shaped like a tube of lipstick on the handle, and it was red lipstick, and I still love red lipstick. Anyway, I always loved that umbrella. I actually wish I still had it. I've lost track of it by now. This was 25 plus years ago, and I just wanted to let you know I still remember that umbrella. I think about that umbrella, and I think of you. And I wanted to let you know that the line of fragrance that I work for now sells a fragrance, and it looks just like that umbrella. It is a tube of lipstick, and it is designed over in Europe as well. I'm going to send you a picture of it. So now when I look at this perfume, I think of that umbrella, which makes me think of you. So I wanted to let you know little gifts like that mean a lot because I still think about that today, and that was a very long time ago. All right, Elda, love you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
You know, I have many great memories of Elda when she was younger. I used to babysit Missy and Michael at her house when I was a teenager, and they were a bit younger than me. And though that beautiful home was so welcoming and loving, and I do remember that. But my most precious memories are more recent, over the past couple of years. Elda definitely is somebody with so much a class. She's such a bright spirit. She always was a gentle, caring person. We get together now. The cousins get together. Melissa, Elda's daughter, me, and Gwenny. What we call our cousins' days, and we often ask Elda along. Most recently, we got together at Missy's house, and we have snacks and we talk and laugh and cry and watch scary movies sometimes at Halloween for Kisses Goodbye. I looked back at Elda standing there, hugging, kissing, saying goodbye to everybody, and it began to snow, just gentle snowflakes coming down on all of us. And as we stood on the front lawn with the snowflakes falling all around my beautiful Aunt Elda, with her white hair, her gentle demeanor, her quiet elegance, I thought, she's just like a snowflake, one in a million, so perfect, so refined, so elegant. And just at that moment, she looked up towards the sky and stuck her tongue out and started catching snowflakes on her tongue, which of course brought us all to laughter to tears at the joy and the happiness and the great sense of humor she brings us all. I so love my Aunt Elda.
I think I've always been a little in awe of Aunt Elda. Her beauty and grace set her apart, but her many talents and her gentle, caring spirit are the qualities that have always made her so special to me. When I was little, I remember she made me a dress, and when I first saw how beautiful it was, I immediately said something like, "It sure looks like something she made." And I was so embarrassed when everyone started laughing because I'd meant it as the most sincere compliment I could make, that only Elda could make something so lovely. But obviously it didn't come out that way. When I was about 5 years old, we were in an accident, and it was a head-on by a drunk driver. I remember being in the emergency room and looking up to see Aunt Elda. I knew we must look pretty awful because she had tears in her eyes. But I also remember feeling so relieved, thinking that everything was going to be all right now that Aunt Elda was there. I've witnessed her special loving care so many times throughout my lifetime. She has blessed our family in so many ways. She just always seems to know exactly what to do to make life better. She simply sprinkles a perfect mix of kindness and heart prints everywhere she goes, leaving a true legacy of love for everyone she touches.
Hi, Elda. It's Greg. My earliest memory of you that I can think of was a time when I want to say about 5 years old. Not exactly sure how old I was, but around 5. And Mom had said you and what would soon be my Uncle John were going to come over and visit. And so I waited in the front window of our house there on Vassar Street in Independence. And there was a big pane glass window in the living dining room area. And behind the curtain I could stick my head out so people really couldn't see me, but I could see them as they approached the house. And lo and behold, what I recall being this huge, I believe it was a Lincoln Continental, and I want to say it was a convertible, black, pulled up, and these two people got out, and I remember you walking up towards the house, and Mom opened the door and was excited to see you. And I stood there and I looked up at you, and I remember you being very tall and very beautiful. And I think you were probably the most beautiful woman I had ever seen at that tender age. And I know that I must have stood there with my mouth wide open. And then John proceeded to want to get acquainted with me you guys were sitting there on the couch to the left of the front door as you come in, and his method of getting acquainted was teasing me and then tickling me. And he got me on his lap and he started tickling me, and he wouldn't quit tickling me, and of course I was laughing like crazy. And Mom says, "John, I wouldn't do that if I were you." And he says, "Oh, we're just having fun." And she says, "Well, he's a wetter." And oh, well, John didn't pay much attention to that, and he just kept tickling, and he just kept tickling. And sure enough, Old Faithful, right on cue, just erupted. And I do remember the look on John's face when the inevitable happened. And of course I was embarrassed, and but it happened, and more than once. That's why Mom warned him. But I've eventually got over that, and anyway, it was, I believe, one of my first recollections of you. Love you, Aunt Elda.
This message is for Elda. This is Galen. I'm better known to the family as Tuck. Known on the West Coast as Galen. Anyway, I just got to thinking about our relationship, and one of the things that I'm doing right now is teaching a course in interpersonal communication. And even though Rosemary rolls her eyes when she hears me say that I'm teaching a course in communication, nevertheless, that's what I'm doing. And one of the exercises that I have my students participate in is explaining from their perspective the difference between communicating with family and communicating with friends. And they first have to explore the difference between family and friends. And when I think about the differences, I think of similarities between family and friends. And the best example that I have is what I consider my relationship with you, Elda. I can be family and I can be friend. And I've always felt that I had both with you.
Hi, Aunt Elda. This is David. Although we've always called you Aunt, you've been more like a big sister to Galen and me. Thinking of you is remembering fun, happy times. I remember when you lived in an apartment with Evelyn Directo. Even though Galen and I were just high school kids, you always welcomed us to come and visit you. I remember we used to listen to Harry Belafonte. We have a wood-burning stove here in our old house at the farm that came from your house in Arlington. We've also got a big real, I'll get in a second, a large cedar tree here in the yard by the old house, and that came from your home down there in Arlington, too. You were our go-to person when Mom and Dad were in the hospital. You always made yourself available to us, and it sure made taking care of the folks so much better. I also remember that Missy and Mike grew up with our kids. I remember a couple of times when you came to visit us, clear up when we were at Stead. Do you remember our bus trip to Washington, D.C.? Boy, we'd walked an awful lot that day, and we were completely pooped. And then our bus was so long away from where we were that we decided to take one of those American version type of rickshaw back. What fun we had. We are sure blessed to have you as part of our family and in our lives. Sure do love you. Bye-bye, David.
And Elda, I wanted to remind you of something that surprised both of us. David's mom was famous for writing down her thoughts and life events. On one of those pages, she says, and I quote, "It was the first part of March 1941 when Jack, his dad, Marcella, Elda, age 5, and Grandma Pips moved to Cameron. Several years ago, you and I think we located that place she was writing about. And it's only 3 or 4 miles from where I was born in 1942. Apparently, our families never knew each other, but you and I have something in common. As children, we both attended, though several years apart, Fountain Country School, south of Cameron. Love you."
Hello, my name is Marge Barron, and I am Deanne's mother, Mike's mother-in-law, and I would like to say a prayer for Elda. It's Hail Mary, full of grace. The Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women. Blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Thank you.